What's
Hey, thank
up?
you so much for joining me today.
Yes, I'm glad to be back.
I gotta say, both of y'all looking sharp. I forgot to say it while you was on. Anthony. Y'all looking sharp today.
Absolutely, because we
Y'all
about
came through,
business.
yeah,
We
about that
about
business,
business
like he
today.
said, town business.
Yeah.
Now, this is really exciting because you guys have already done the national launch.
Mhm.
Tell us a bit more about the local effort happening here with American Equity.
All right. So, first and foremost, it's about my community more so than anything. So it's launching at Seattle U on 14th and Yesler. I was raised in the Bryan Manor on 18th and Yesler. My mom still stays there. She's been staying there since 92, despite all the gentrification. So, this event means something, community wise, geographically for me. So, I just to get back to my community and actually be on the forefront of, addressing these issues, these systemic issues in which how we lost our community. And we're talking about a movement to try to get our community back. That means the most to me.
It's really important because I think so many of us, we have to see it to believe it,
Yeah.
right? And the idea of, what Anthony was talking about was, how young people get inspired is because they were talking to people who had lived it. And
Yeah.
I know you have been a part of that. Tell us about some of the excitement that you get to be able to bring such an amazing effort into the community. As you said, it's about community. And Seattle University has its own pedigree in terms of law school students
Yeah.
and what they're doing there. Tell us about why you guys were able to connect to Seattle University and say, this is where we need to do this local launch.
I'm not really sure like exactly why. I think it's the universe. You're gonna have to ask Anthony why he made the logistics, For me, the excitement for me is to be out here on the ground with my community, right? To be out there with Freedom All or the Freedom Project or Kids Are Kids or Washington Can or, all the boots on the ground, right? And to be, fresh out. Like this is like day 120 since I've been out. And to be able to be on the ground and doing the work, but then also be part of, this launch right here with American Equity and Justice Group with this equity dashboard, which is a tool for us to leverage and get some exponential progress towards what we're doing on the ground.
Yeah.
And so for me, that's the excitement is that we actually, are taking advantage of this technology. Seattle's like a technology hub. It's like the second Silicon Valley up here, right? And so we have all this technology, these Amazons, these Microsofts, these corporations, and et cetera. But, historically, due to income inequality and education and people migrating here, it wasn't our communities who took advantage of those opportunities to leverage that technology. Right. And so for us to be doing this now, to actually be leveraging this technology and for the work that we're doing, I think this is like a turning point for where we're going in Seattle with the movement.
I agree. I mean, I think it's not only just a turning point, but it's such a necessity right
Yes.
now. I think, I was just explaining this the other day to my child, and it's like people get so bombarded with the fact that there hasn't been much progress or much movement
Yeah.
right now. And this is something I want to make sure both of you know.
Yeah.
I keep on sharing this. The Fry Museum has a time capsule project where they are opening it up to Black folks only to share audio history about whatever you want to share. And then they will open this time capsule in 2123. So what you guys are doing, like, please get out there and share. Check out the Fry Museum. I think about this because I think about 100 years before us, and I'm like, we are still kind of fighting for the same things.
Yeah.
If you look at protest movements from 100 years ago and what we were just asking for and demanding for in terms of change, it's the same thing. And the idea that what we need right now is a real leg up to changing these systems because people get burnt out, Blaze.
Yeah.
Like they get burnt out because not enough is moving or progressing.
Yeah.
But this right here, this dashboard, what you all are doing, it really is a game changer.
Yeah, well, for me and Anthony, we have a different perspective, right? Because he did 27 years in prison from the age of 17. I did 18 years in prison from the age of 17. And so why the community on the outside has like a myopic vision of the progress, it's like we done been to some depths or some bottoms to where we see a perspective to where progress is being made. And progress is being made with this movement in real time. And it's just the narratives. There's not enough of the success stories day to day that's being told. And that's why, individuals get pessimistic about it. That's why Converge Media and Black media really matters, because it's important. We got stories that we can tell every day about success within the struggle. And so personally for me, I have super more optimism because the work that I'm doing as a community advocate and paralegal and helping my guys and the women that are incarcerated right now and watching them advocate for them and get them out of prison, it's like I have a way like more just upbeat and optimistic aspect of it because I'm literally participating in the liberation of our people. So, like I said, if we just shine the spotlight on that and see what's really done, I think everybody would be like way more encouraged, way more optimistic, way more just motivated and galvanized for what we're doing. One of the examples I want to share is with Kids Are Kids. A young woman named Rena, she got a son that was incarcerated and was a juvenile trial as an adult. And, she joined on with Kids Are Kids. Shout out to KL. Shout out to my lady, Donika Adams, who frontlines it with me. Shout out to Rose and all the crew from Kids Are Kids. But, we did some advocacy and just showed support for her and for her son. And, we bettered the outcome that he would have had we not intervened. And now she's part of Kids Are Kids, right? So it's like, these are stories that are not uncommon on the ground. So like, it's just important that we cheer it. So, I make sure when I grab a mic and somebody asks me, I'm quick to say, nah, we're making progress. Nah, we're strong out here. Nah, we're winning. Nah, we can win.
I love that. It's literally why I posed the question to you, because honestly, it is necessary. Not enough people are knowledgeable about what's happening. And this is why I love being here at Converge, because we have to share the platform to make sure that people do get that understanding. And even if it's one story at a time, every time you've come on, every time I have somebody who is able to break the monotony of thought around, man, we're not really, what's up, this and that, because I'm like you, right? First of all, I understand, what a lot of our ancestors understood in terms of being divine beings. We've talked about that before, and how that's a thorough line to people understanding like what we're doing right now is setting a precedence for the next generation. This is why I really appreciate Christopher Jordan. I'm gonna give you another shout out because of this time capsule project. It's like for me to be able to share something of a part of my lived experience for people 100 years from now, to be able to hear that and to understand what we've been doing right now to really set a foundation for how they're going to be living is so important, and it's so key. So I really thank you for always being optimistic. It is necessary, and our families need that, and our community needs that. To give us the details about this event happening this month, so I know people can register. So Mom will be putting the link in the comments. You can look right there, make sure folks know how to be connected to this local launch of American Equity and the Equity Dashboard.
All right. So American Equity and Justice Group is doing our local launch of the Equity Dashboard on May 17th from 4:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. From 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. will be the presentation, and from 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. will be the reception. And it's in my section, so I love it. And so, we talk a lot about trying to hold the system accountable, right? And then I don't even like talking system because it's people making decisions. And I think when we say system, we hide behind the principals who are actually making these decisions, right? So when you just call it a system, we start calling out names of who's over convicting, who's over surveilling our communities. Actual people are doing this, but we put the system in front of it and we kind of lose where we're going with that, right? So that's where the Equity Dashboard comes in, because the Equity Dashboard has actual names and actual numbers. Particularly like for me with the tool that I use, like I like to use it best right now is with Kids Are Kids, or with the Blake decision, in which I got a lot of comrades who are on the inside right now coming back for resentencing. First thing I do is go to the Equity Dashboard, look at the county of the conviction, look at their judge, and see the statistical analysis historically as far as how they've been sentencing people based on race. Right. So now we can get to names, not just the system. We're talking transparency, because we talk about accountability and acknowledgement, because that's what I like. I want acknowledgement, right? Acknowledge what y'all did. All right. Accountability, but they don't be trying to hold us accountable because they say we don't have the data. So what we know with our lived experience, right? With our lived experience, like, this goes with DeGraw, right? Post-traumatic slave syndrome, with all that historical trauma that's within our spirit, within our bones, right? We know this anecdotally. This is happening to us in real time in 2022, right? Now, what we know anecdotally, this dashboard helps us confirm empirically. So, they try to hit us with the stats. We got the stats now. We're going to have more stats. And so with this transparency now we can get some true acknowledgement, true accountability, and some policies and practices that they've been doing will be changed. So particularly where I know this can be leveraged at on the ground, because it's from the top down. I'm seeing it from the top down, but now getting this technology, getting this database on the ground, it's with court watch, it's with participatory defense. It's with community advocacy. We can use these statistics. We can bring this transparency to the forefront to talk about how the community-based organizations with the services that they provide that for years in the town have been providing measurables and deliverables to ameliorate the harms of our community. Now we can connect that with the statistical data on the harm and say, look, this harm right here, we have the services to remedy that. And then we go into a whole different story when we get to talking about Blake. And so, whenever you're ready to talk about that, we can talk about that too.
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna have to have you back, Blaze.
Yeah.
I mean, we said it before. I'm so inspired by y'all. I can't even tell you, as a mother with 2 Black sons that I am raising, this right here for me is a huge game changer. And what you just said just resonated in my soul so hard that, yes, because I talk about the system a lot, but I love how you're talking about, no, this is people that are making these decisions. And now we are holding those people accountable to the decisions that they've made. I think it is so true. And when we think about policy at a national, global level, there are specific policies that allow those powers to constantly implicate harm on families. And so we do have to take it down to a people level. Blaze, thank you so much. I can't wait to be there. I will be there on May 17th at Seattle U. I am looking forward to this thing growing and me being able to experience it with you all. Thank you guys for the work that you're doing. And thank you for joining me today.
And thank you for shining the spotlight on us and sharing our story and letting us share our voice authentically for the people.
Absolutely. Anytime.
Yes.
Anytime.